we're back on the greenway. There's the bikers. And we're going live here with our purposeful exercise. I'm actually returning that was bought online, and we're going to do grocery shopping, right?
Yes.
Both things. And we're getting our 12,000 steps, hopefully. You can hear this live because you get the, and like I always say, it's probably somebody that's under cardiac standard American diet.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. Anyway, see, kind of can't really make it out there.
Yeah,
well, the color, no matter what, the colors aren't showing here. So anyway, we're on our walk, and we're gonna do and comment on the plant-based news. And we have another article that we picked out underneath. Let's actually just wait till the siren goes by. And in the meantime, kind of like yesterday when we walked over that, I kind of remind you guys that we have events coming up that are on our website. Go to plant-based Eventbrite. You'll see where the events are, or go to aplantbaseddiet.org. Click on Loudon Veg Fest, and plants a table before that, which is a dinner. That's in Northern Virginia. Then we've got Naples Veg Fest. Then we've got Sarasota, and also Angus table down in Florida as well. It's all before the beginning of next year, before the end of this year. Here's the title. The title is "Got Milk is Back and It's Bad. Real Dairy This Time" in 2022. When did it start? We read the 1992 or 3. So that's like years ago, right?
Yeah.
Is when I started high school in the 80s. I thought it was in the 80s, but I guess it wasn't until the 90s.
Yeah, maybe it was a different campaign in the 80s.
All right, so Denise is going to read the article.
A new campaign from California Milk is banking on real, I quote, milk messaging to dairy again. Is it too late? Okay,
let's talk about what's real milk now. That milk is the mammary secretions of another species. And I'm questioning after we read this, well, maybe we don't want to call the plant milk, because if milk means secretions of another species, that sounds disgusting. Why would you want anything to do with that?
Breast milk too, but milk
okay.
As it's packaged in the grocery store.
Well, still, it's okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, doesn't sound very appetizing to me. Go ahead.
No. The Got Milk's debut in 1993 as a way to encourage the consumption of dairy products. Ad agency for the California Milk Processor Board, or CM, campaign slogan was licensed to the National Milk Processor Education PEP in 1995, which over the next few decades, celebrities including Beyonce, Venus and Serena Williams.
They are? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Britney Spears.
Well, at least they are until they become ex-vegans. Oh, why?
Yeah, I hope they don't do that. To push dairy, to push its dairy, milk prep. Milk prep. Is that what it's called? Milk. And the Got Milk campaign in 2011. But a Got Milk iteration of it been looking to revive the buzz of the original since 2020.
Okay, 20 years. Took a 10-year break. Now they're bringing it back, and they're trying to make it sound like plant milk. So if they were, nobody knew what they were. But no, in that 20 years that it ran. But now, and there's been, I think, some lawsuits. They're not even mentioned in the article, but there have been some lawsuits where taking the plant milk makers to court, or tried to take them to court, saying that they milk and they're liars. And that's what this is. Now they're trying. I guess I don't know if they won in court or not. But regardless of that, they are now taking it to the court of public opinion, trying to make plant milk people into a bunch of liars. And it's kind of traditional food producers have also gotten into plant milks, even people that do animal products, milks, because they realize that's where the money is, and the dairy market is shrinking. So they don't want to come out a bunch of liars, right? Because they're doing it themselves. So now they're just trying to make it hang on with. We're under a bridge, see, and they're trying to hang on the dairy and both markets at the same time. This is how they do it, right?
Yeah.
Good.
A new Got Milk ad created by the CMPB California to promote dairy products. Styled like a music video, the 2 Mexican-born singer Diego Boneta, who was chosen to represent California's next population.
Okay. Have you guys seen this? This is September 2022. I don't watch TV.
We don't have any kind of TV. It's just a subscription to any channels. About a fantasy world that as real milk can eat their food before photographing it. Movie theaters display their sequel with new actions, marquees, and other references, falsities that make the world a less truthful place. One of those falsities, the video, one of the falsities is someone running for office, and her banner it said "Nothing will change." So, taken to this being a commercial for milk, the campaign centers animal real, by contrast, sending the message that the alternatives are dishonest, false. And Jennifer Kaplan, an instructor of sustainable food systems at the graduate school and the former director of sustainability at Miyoko's Creamery, says
former. Okay.
Yeah, she used to work for Miyoko's.
Yeah.
Campaign is disingenuous at best. The definition of real, a claim, is so poorly defined or broad that its real meaning is likely understood by the consumer. How is non-dairy milk not real? Kaplan tells us.
It's not a mammary secretion.
Yeah, the Webster definition of real, she didn't say what it was, but she said plant-based dairy and non-dairy, and they are simply not cow's milk.
They're not mammary secretions. Why don't they just come out in the commercials and say, you don't have mammary secretions in your... we would all say, yeah, sure, okay, great. And then that would actually reduce the sales of... Right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of even more ironic, because if they really told people what was... Yeah.
They wouldn't sell so much.
Right.
Well, Big Milk resonated with the pre-internet set. This new attempt to market in lieu of digital age references, modern day consumers might not be able to body of research and awareness pointing to the many downsides of dairy. How does it do a body good? Much of the Got Milk messaging of the past being a beverage that promotes optimal health. Scientific link the consumption of dairy milk or lactose secretions from a mammal which she produces to feed her young to a higher incidence of disease and prostate cancers.
Yeah.
Many health professionals agree that dairy is a major inflammatory. Consuming it can do a host of health issues.
Absolutely. All that, I get my book, Live to 150. If you want to live well, you want to live a healthy life, you want to live a fun life, you don't want to have anything to do with dairy. Nothing. That's what's real. Somebody from the plant milk industry should put that in their commercials.
Yeah. Dairy is highly producing product. Both of these have negative health consequences. Registered dietitian at Balance One Supplement told Veg News this. Mucus can cause illnesses to be more severe than necessary and cause issues like worsening asthma.
Yeah.
I have a coworker who sits beside me, and he makes it when he's breathing just normal. He's like, and I'm wondering if he
sure, it's probably standard American diet, like everything there. That's what you get. Like, if you put the chapters, it's liveto150.org. Most of this stuff totally avoidable just on your lifestyle choices and your habits. It's so simple. And this is that's real illness, real sickness, real cruelty is milk. That's what that describes it in that way.
Chronic low-level inflammation is known to cause cellular death. That's connected with many of the chronic conditions common to the Western world. Non-dairy alternatives may clear up excess mucus and congestion. This isn't necessarily a milk allergy or intolerance, but the natural inflammatory state of dairy.
It's real. That's the kind of stuff that they should be required to tell people. Just like they give you those ridiculous labels that have all the side effects on them. Mm-hmm. That would make it required to talk about all that kind of stuff in their commercials, I would think.
Lisa, an author of The Candida Diet, agrees with Best, explaining that it takes up to 4 weeks at one system after they decide to remove it from their diet. Dairy,
I would say at least that, because it takes 7 years for your cells to regenerate completely in your body, more than 4 weeks.
Dairy is an inflammatory substance for us and also produce excess mucus. Chronic low-grade inflammation leads to poor immune function that ultimately leads to chronic diseases and replication of damaged cell cancer.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Richards tells Veg News
that's what's real.
This excess mucus and oil production can create issues for this form of acne. I used to have terrible acne as a teenager.
Absolutely. Skin conditions and allergies in the article, right?
Yeah. The inflammatory nature of dairy worsens with time. Acne persists as well. So dairy allergy milk. For reasons related to health, animal welfare, and the environment, dairy milk has steadily fallen in recent years, while plant-based milks have soared. In 2020, sales of plant-based milk grew twice as fast as with dollar sales of plant-based milk growing by 25 billion.
Let me also be real here and say that, talk about this in my book, plant milk it's just like it's like the fake meats. You're trying to keep the habits on that you're eating meat. I learned it growing up, I was taught it. But that's not what's optimal for human health. It's still junk that stage and move to something else. But in the meantime, these folks are still trying to hang bad habits, basically.
Yeah. So plant sales rose to 2.5 billion.
That's great.
According to the most recent estimates from the USDA, and milk handlers shipped a total of 3.3 billion pounds of packaged
mammary secretions.
Yeah. Representing a 1.7% decrease. Yeah. Still 1% a year. That's not declining very fast.
No.
The USDA estimates that sales of fluid dairy milk have decreased since June 2021. So it's going down 1% a year.
Or maybe 50 years. 20. They'll be out of business. I think they know that at this point. They know, like the cigarette manufacturers did, that they're going to target lower income nations, like the cigarette manufacturers have done.
Yeah.
Where they have less regulations too. Like I said, there's like zero regulations here. They can say whatever the hell they want to pay, and making fun of the plant, when the reality is they should be required the negative health consequences of their product, like the cigarette manufacturers are. That's what should be doing. So it's actually still where the consumer is in an awful position with this, not only with this new campaign, but just talking about any kind of dairy ads. They should be required to talk about.
Right. So, in an effort to sway consumers back to dairy, the new C focuses heavily on sending a message that only real dairy is acceptable. Problematic with people who have allergies.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And allergies, I talked about this. Allergies are really like your check engine light off. It's telling you what's being affected. It's not like people say, oh, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic to that. No, you may not be, and you probably aren't. You're probably doing allergy. Just like dairy is the cause of so many allergies, right?
Kathleen Rails, also known as the allergy chief, turned her diagnosis with allergies and intolerances into a business that helps those. Rails takes issue with the messaging within the new milk campaign and it apologizes.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
Advertising dairy is an exciting advertising dairy in an exciting way isn't an issue. However, when we use words, we're implying that all
real
others
sickness
are fake.
Yeah, they are fake. Thank God, they're not.
Fake milk. I like fake milk. The problem is,
and like we said, all plant milks are junk food too. Like, yes, the plant milks are better, good transition, and then get off of it. But all we do use it for smooth, but still sparingly. It's not. We use it mainly to. That's what we do, not because we are used to the dairy products. So we don't eat the fake cheeses and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or the fake ice creams, or the fake meats, or whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
So we know better. People worldwide who can't safely consume dairy think that their food is fake.
Yeah, that's right. And it's greater, Parker. It's a greater chance that you are lactose intolerant, and if your skin color is lighter, I guess that's because we talked about this before. We're getting to the end of this here. I don't know how we're going to cross this road, but anyway, as darker skin color, your most recent ancestors have been much closer to the equator. All right, and probably what it was, right? Because they were growing around there, and then if you're further away, so like light-skinned people, you're probably more reliant on animal products and developed a resistance or something, but you still get sick.
Developed a tolerance for lactose.
Yeah, and there's even been people said, even people in the industry is racist because of that.
Yeah.
So,
80% of African Americans and of Native Americans and 90 to 100% of Asian Americans are lactose intolerant.
But discrimination against women and all the reproductive rights, or females and the reproductive rights, because basically they arouse and steal their babies, and none of the cows want them to ever be taken away, and they cry. They don't tell you that in their commercials. That's real.
Those male calves end up becoming veal.
Yeah.
So it's a horrible industry.
Yeah. Are we going to cross and keep going? Or we have more article to talk about here? That's basically it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what we have to say about this. I think, well, we'll turn around, but I can't turn around because that sun's back there. The final article.
The last line of the article says all food is real. That needs to be our message. Black lives matter.
Okay.
Don't say all lives matter.
All right. Well, let us know this is like kind of we're in where people are trying to get off of the animal products. They're taking all this pushback from the animal product industry, and until the stuff is generations probably for us to evolve. So we look back at this and we're like, not only was it sweet, why do you have the plant stuff? We should be eating the whole foods, the whole plants, because the milk is just. Let me know your thoughts anyway, because it's 2022. I can't expect too much far into the future like I always do. So, anything else to add?